Mr. President. Mr. McNamara, Secretary of Defense, is here to see you.
God damn it! Haven't I told you not to interrupt me when I'm reading official documents?
Mr. President, you need to take a look at this.
What is it, Bob?
It's a photograph of Cuba, Mr. President. I'm sure Cuba is really nice, Bob, but I already have other plans for my summer holidays.
No, Mr. President. This is a major security issue. We're dealing with nuclear missiles here.
I didn't know we had missiles on Cuba, Dean.
They're not our missiles, Mr. President. They're Soviet missiles.
God damn it, Bob! I want the Executive Committee of the National Security here now!
Be seated.
As you know, Mr. President, one of our U-2 reconnaissance planes 2 days ago discovered the Soviet missile sites on Cuba. These are medium-range ballistic missiles, SS-4 missiles to be exact. Each missile has a range of 1,300 miles and carries 1 megaton warhead. We don't think they are operational at present.
How destructive is a megaton warhead, General Taylor?
Let me put it to you this way, Mr. Attorney General. A single megaton is the equivalent of 1 million tons of TNT. The bomb we dropped on Hiroshima was the TNT equivalent of 15,000 tons. You do the math.
Jeez! And how long till they're operational?
We estimate between 10 and 14 days. It is critical that we take action against the Soviet missile sites before they become operational.
How many missiles do they have?
We believe they have 42 missiles and 9 bases. As you can see, Mr. President, if the Soviets deploy SS-5 missiles, which have a range of 2,400 miles, then every city, with the exception of Seattle, will be within range of a nuclear attack.
They seem to have deliberately left out Seattle. Why is that?
Have you ever been to Seattle, Jack? Maybe they don't think it's worth the missile.
I think their coffee's pretty good there. I always have trouble sleeping.
Okay, gentlemen, what suggestions do we have?
It is the opinion of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Mr. President, that we launch an immediate airstrike against the missile sites, followed by an invasion of Cuba.
What do you think the reaction of Chairman Khrushchev would be to that?
We don't think there'll be a reaction, Mr. President.
You don't think that the Soviets will attack West Berlin as a retaliation? That we will have a third world war in our hands? A nuclear war?
There is another alternative. We impose a naval blockade around Cuba to ensure that no further missiles reach the island. Our ships will search any Soviet vessel approaching Cuba and confiscate any offensive weapons.
And if they refuse to stop?
Then I, and only I, will issue the order to fire upon that vessels. Is that clear?
Yes, Mr. President.
Yes, Mr. President. This will not get rid of the existing missiles, but it does give Khrushchev time to think of a solution short of a world war. However, technically a blockade is an act of war. Therefore, we propose using the term quarantine instead.
Mr. President, there's a telephone call for you on the switchboard from Marilyn.
Marilyn who?
I'll take care of it, Jack.
How'd it go with Marilyn, Bobby?
Fine. She's taking a nap.
The Cuban Missile Crisis lasted 13 tense days, during which the world stood on the precipice of a Third World War. The quarantine succeeded in preventing any further missiles reaching Cuba, and the Soviet vessels turned back. Chairman Khrushchev agreed to withdraw the Soviet missiles from Cuba, and in exchange, Kennedy secretly promised to withdraw US missiles from Turkey. For Kennedy, the crisis was a triumph, but within a year he was dead, and within 2 years Khrushchev had been forced from power.